There was a time when anti-Catholic bigotry could regularly be heard in the halls of Congress. A time where former leaders of the Klan were treated as respected members of the Senate. A time where Blaine amendments were being adopted across the country explicitly as an effort to bar Catholics, to erect legal barriers to Catholics being accepted in our society. I think a great many of us had hoped we'd put those dark days behind us. That sorry chapter in our history had been relegated to the history books. And yet we are seeing a reemergence of that same hostility to faith and that same hostility to the Catholic Church. The previous administration persecuted the Little Sisters of the Poor in a way that was truly indefensible. And today, in this Senate, we have seen repeatedly nominees grilled not for their qualifications, not for their record, but for their faith. We saw Professor Barrett, a distinguished professor at Notre Dame, a respected academic, someone whose credentials are impeccable, grilled by Democratic senators, one Democratic senator demanding, "Are you an Orthodox Catholic?" With the obvious presumption being, if the answer were yes, you're not fit to serve on the federal bench. Another Democratic senator calling out, the dogma lives strongly in this one. It's almost as if we'd gone back decades in this institution's history. We saw another nominee being questioned by the runner-up for the Democratic presidential nominee. In this instance, the nominee is an evangelical Christian, and having his views about salvation. What does your faith teach about salvation? Those questions have no place in a Senate hearing. I recognize that today's Democratic Party is not the party of JFK anymore. Today's Democratic Party is much more secular, happily embraces atheists. But if the message of Democrats is Catholics need not apply, if the message of Democrats is evangelical Christians are unfit to serve in office, if the message of Democrats are it's okay if you serve so long as you are not, in the word of one Democratic senator, a, quote, Orthodox Catholic, then that is a sad, sad testament to where this body is. Now, I hope and believe we're not there. I hope and I want to believe that these are aberrations. But we have an opportunity. We're going to have 4 judicial nominees before the Senate this week. There's an opportunity for every Democrat voting to decide where he or she stands. Are you part of establishing an unconstitutional religious test contrary to Article 6 of the Constitution? Are you part of saying the Democratic Party does not welcome Orthodox Catholics? Or will you stand for religious liberty and religious faith? It is my hope that Professor Barrett will be confirmed 100-0. Based on what we've seen, I don't think that is likely, but I do think we're seeing a test. But it's not a test of the nominees, it is a test of the United States Senate.